Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest. It's always exciting to be featuring a company for the very first time. I don't hear much chatter about this company, no matter what podcasts I listen to, online articles I read, or general investor chatter in forums or whatever. I don't see Advanced Zinctek Limited mentioned much. Ticker code of this company is ANO. Used to be called Advanced Nano, then they changed their name to Zinctek. And I have been following this company for a while. I was a shareholder of this company back about 7 or 8 years ago when they were Advanced Nano. Market cap back then was about 20 million. I should have maintained a holding because the market cap right now is about 120, 130 million. It has been as high as almost $300 million a few years ago. Some really nice growth in revenue a few years ago. Between about 2017, 2019, this company was affected negatively by COVID-19. We did see, or the company did see, a dip in its revenue. But based off the projections of the company, it does look like revenue is starting back into its pretty good growth phase. Now, I remember Advanced Nano or Zinctek as a sun cream company or sunscreen company, and they do or are involved in zinc oxide. So the question is, what is zinc oxide? What are the applications of zinc oxide? And one of the applications is sunscreen, and that is a growing area of that sort of sector of the economy right now because consumers consider zinc oxide to be safe. So I'll talk about what are some of the other applications of zinc oxide in this video because it does look like Advanced Zinctek is trying to diversify because when you look at the revenue, about $12 million revenue in the previous financial year, it was mostly coming from the one product. So let's get into it. Talk about Advanced Zinctek Limited, a fairly small company on the ASX, but also say a growing company on the ASX. I am not a shareholder of this company at this point in time, but I have been in the past for a short period of time. About 7 or 8 years ago, I came a little bit bored with the company because the share price was going sideways. And it does say or suggest, based off what happened after that maybe being patient would have been a good idea for me in that circumstance because I'll show you the chart and you can see the share price and the little bit of hype this company did generate a few years ago. So at this point in time, I am not a shareholder of this company. So the principal activities of Advanced Zinctek, and I just got this straight from their annual report. And if you don't know what a company does, just go to their annual report and they'll have a principal activities section. So they describe themselves as a manufacturer of aluminum, but aluminium oxide powder, zinc oxide dispersions, and zinc oxide powder for personal care sector, mainly sunscreen. And I think the majority of their revenue would be sunscreen products or maybe even those zinc oxide dispersions. Now, I don't really have an idea or understanding what zinc oxide dispersions exactly are, except they have something to do with sun cream. So some of the other uses of zinc oxide, and there's many uses of zinc oxide, include cosmetics, food supplements. Yeah, they are actually safe to eat. Rubbers, plastics, ceramics, glass, cement, lubricants, paints, ointments, adhesives, sealants, pigments, foods, batteries, ferrites, fire retardants, and first aid tapes. And I'm just looking at Wikipedia right now. Really long section, long article on zinc oxide here. I'm just going to go down to the possible applications. Well, that's possible potential applications. But some of the other applications they do use now, right now, include rubber manufacture. In fact, between 50% and 60% of zinc oxide is used in the rubber industry. Zinc oxide, along with stearic acid, is used in the vulcanization of rubber. So a lot of that is going straight over my head. Zinc oxide additives also protect rubber from fungi, which is interesting, and UV light, which comes back to sunscreen. Ceramic industry consumes a significant amount of zinc oxide, in particular in ceramic glaze and flint composition. Medicine, zinc oxide as a mixture with iron oxide is called calamine and is used in calamine or calamine lotion. So that's actually, there's a lot of stuff here about medicine. Zinc oxide is used in mouthwash products and toothpaste as an antibacterial agent proposed to prevent plaque, and tartar formation. Is also used to treat a variety of skin conditions, including atopic dermatitis, contact dermatitis, itching due to eczema, diaper rash, and acne. Is also used, often added into sunscreens, hence advanced Zinctek. Cigarette filters is a component of cigarette filters. Food additives is often added to many food products, including breakfast cereals, as a source of zinc, so it's safe to eat. Again, pigment, UV absorber, hence again, advanced Zinctek, and coatings. And they even mention here in this article potential applications, including electronics. So electronics, zinc oxide nanorod sensors, piezoelectricity, Li-ion battery, and supercapacitors. Now, Advanced Zinctek have mentioned about getting into the battery area. So it's interesting here, in this particular article, they've mentioned that a potential use of zinc oxide is in batteries and supercapacitors. So potential lot going on here for Advanced Zinctek with zinc oxide. Now, I tried to gain an understanding of what dispersion or zinc oxide dispersion exactly means. Has something to do with sunscreen. For instance, in this particular article, which is from Kobo Products Zinc, it just mentions that zinc oxide dispersions have piezo and pyroelectric properties that make it useful in the development of sensors, generators, and photocatalysis. It has low toxicity, biocompatibility, which facilitate its applications in biomedicine. So I'm not exactly sure what a zinc dispersion or zinc oxide dispersion exactly means when it comes to Advanced Zinctek, apart from its use in sunscreens. The CEO of Zinctek is Jeff Acton, and he's really passionate about this company. It's one thing I've really noticed over the past, say, 6 or 7 years is how passionate he's about this company, how passionate he is about what they're doing. And there is a quote, probably on their website or somewhere, as a person that has had 32 skin cancer procedures since 2005, for me, these zinc-based products are not just business, it's personal. So that's probably another reason why zinc oxide sunscreens are becoming more popular, just because they're safer, they're more environmentally friendly. I've also seen somewhere mentioning that they're vegan safe and that sort of thing. So these sort of products, zinc oxide sunscreens, are becoming more popular, and you'll be able to see the growth in revenue in the United States. And right now, that is where the growth is for this company, United States and Europe. Now, in saying all that, I probably would classify Advanced Zinctek right now as a lower quality company because it is small, it is still growing. Most of the revenue is through just the selling of one product. I think something like 90% of their revenue. I'd like a little bit more diversification. I'd like to see a little bit more growth in this company. And with a market cap of over $130 million, with about $12 million of revenue, there is a little bit of excitement about this company right now in the market. But just based off their trading updates we have seen recently released, this company looks like it's going to grow fairly nicely in financial year 23. And we haven't quite seen the market react right now to those sort of growth or potential growth numbers this financial year. In fact, the share price is going sideways, and you'll be able to see that when we look at the daily chart towards the end of this video. So right now, I'd probably classify this company as a lower quality company, but it has the potential to climb from being a lower quality company to a high quality company. And when a company goes through that transition, that, in my opinion, is a time to hold that company. That is when you see significant returns, when you do hold a company that transitions from low quality to high quality. Now let's have a look at the financial year 22 results, and the share price is hovering around $2.25, which means the market cap is $138 million. Only $12.5 million of revenue in the last financial year, but they were profitable by $2.2 million. So this is a profitable company. Not only is this company profitable, they've also provided dividend to their shareholders. Operating cash flow of $1.2 million, but they were free cash flow negative by $1.2 million. So have a close look at that whenever you see this company release their financial results, because don't just focus on profit, also look at the operating cash flow and the free cash flow, because that's very important. It's all about cash. Cash is king. That is a saying, and that is a pretty good saying for a reason. Now let's have a look at the history, revenue, profit, and operating cash flow history of Advanced Zinctek Limited over the past 10 years. And from 2012 to around about 2017, this company wasn't growing much at all. Revenue between about $4 million and $5 million. And then all of a sudden in 2018, 2019, and then into 2020, we saw a significant jump in revenue from $5 million to almost $20 million in 2020. And then a significant drop in revenue, more than likely because of COVID-19. But we have seen revenue starting to climb again in 2022. Wouldn't be surprised to see revenue in 2023 get up to those 2020 numbers. The other thing to look at here, interesting thing to look at, is profit. So profitability was almost non-existent up until 2018. Then they had $2.6 million of profit that year, $9.6 million of profit in 2019, probably a little bit higher than it probably should have been. There might have been some one-offs that lifted profit that year, back to $5.3 million profit in 2020, and then negligible profit in 2021, and back to $2.2 million profit in the most recent financial year. But if you look at operating cash flow, we don't see much operating cash flow. So even though we do see significant profits, operating cash flow is suppressed. Has been positive or positive thereabouts over the past 5 years, but the record operating cash flow was $1.39 million in 2021. And then we did see that 1 point whatever it was in the most recent year. So there is a big difference between profit and operating cash flow for this company. And that's why I like to focus on all three, profit, operating cash flow, and also free cash flow, because you can see differences between the three profit metrics. Now, within the, I think it was the annual report, there was a managing director review section in it, and it just showed you the performance of Advanced Zinctek since 2016, looking at revenue. For some reason, they included employee wages in this, profit before tax, earnings per share, and share price. And you can see revenue climbing from $4 million all the way up to $17 or $18 million in 2020, and then back to $12 million in 2022. And have a look at the share price, which is on the bottom here, from 23 cents in 2016, 24 cents in 2017. Now, if you go back to those years, the share price was actually 2 cents. 2.3 cents and 2.4 cents. Somewhere along the line, they did go through a share consolidation. So if you compare the share price back then, 2.3, 2.4, to now, we will be looking at a 20-cent share price. So you do have to take into consideration share consolidation, because when I remember this company and when I was a shareholder of this company, the share price was actually 2 cents, not 23 cents. And then the share price went through a massive growth phase between 2018 and 2019, went from 50 cents in 2018 to $6.72 now, and now the share price has pulled back to $2.20. So maximum hype in this company was just prior to COVID-19, and then this company did go through some, I won't say troubling times, but this company was affected by COVID-19, and now we're starting to see that recovery. So the share price and the valuation of this company is significantly lower than it was back in 2019. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not sure the difference between Zinclear and Illusion, but in this note 5 of their annual report, they go through their different revenue streams, and by far the biggest revenue stream is Zinclear. In fact, $11.5 million out of $12.5 million. So about 89% of the revenue is through the sale of Zinclear. Illusion only $983,000, and significantly lower than it was last year, which was $2.1 million. You can see the sale of Zinclear has increased by almost threefold, from $4.4 million to $11.5 million. They've also got a sale of sunscreen products, and I'm pretty sure Zinclear, maybe even Illusion, I thought was sunscreen product. So my understanding of this company is not complete at this point in time, even though I was a shareholder way long ago, but that was all because of sunscreen, or the potential of sunscreen. So probably have to delve a little bit deeper. What is the difference between Zinclear, Illusion, and the sunscreen products? But the main thing here is Zinclear is growing at a pretty good rate, but the majority of the revenue comes from the sale of that particular product. Now onto the revenue by region, and this comes from the company itself, and they're not comparing 2021 to 2022. They're comparing 2016 to 2022. And the reason they're going that far back is because 2016, they didn't have much revenue. But you also can see here that this company has seen significant revenue growth in the United States and Canada, or North America and Europe, and revenue has been fairly anemic in Australia, a little bit better in the rest of the world, but revenue has grown 531% in USA and Canada, 174% in Europe, 27.7% in Australia, and 72% in the rest of the world. So the main focus of this business at this point in time, and I have no idea what the management are thinking, seems to be growing their sales in the United States and Canada and secondary into Europe. And exciting for shareholders, the company has announced their first dividend, which is an unfranked dividend of 6 cents, payable on the 22nd of March, 2023. So still 2 months to go. I think this is their first dividend, and that is an exciting time for shareholders. And sometimes I have seen in the past, this can be a catalyst. When a company announces their maiden dividend, that can be a sign for some investors that that company has made it. And that could turn a company from being uninvestable to investable. So we haven't really seen a reaction from the market when the company did announce this maiden dividend. Now to some valuation metrics for Advanced Zinctek. A PE ratio 62.7. Now, I would not look at these numbers and say that makes Advanced Zinctek really expensive, because the profit of this company could double or even triple in 1 year, which would significantly bring down that PE ratio. So in my opinion, valuation metrics for small companies are not that reliable. I wouldn't rely on looking at the PE ratio for these type of companies at all, even the price to operating cash flow, which is 115. Price to sales ratio, I might have a closer look at that, but that's not too stretched at 11. And when I did a reverse DCF based off the earnings per share to justify the current valuation, the company would have to grow their earnings per share over the next 10 years at 29.2%. And I definitely think they can do it, because I think there is potential. In a couple of years, now you might see 1 year the earnings per share grow at 50 or even 100%, and then following year grow another 50 or 100%. So I definitely think over a 10-year period, this company can grow their earnings per share at that rate. Now onto the outlook of the company. And this is looking at the first 4 months of the year up until July, August, September, and October, to the end of October. And so we are seeing pretty good growth continuing in North America and Europe. North America up 92%, Europe up 126%, and in Australia only up 11%, and the rest of the world up 175%. So I should not be missing that this growth in this company is all around the world except Australia. So maybe the Australian market is mature right now, or maybe they're not spending any money on marketing or that sort of thing in Australia, because they see the growth is in the rest of the world at this point in time. And the board or the management anticipates that sales revenue for financial year 23 will be in the range of between financial year 22 sales of 12.5 million and 50% plus, based on the current 90% increase in sales orders on hand as at 31st of October 2022. Did you understand that? I don't think so. So you might have to read that a few times to really get a grasp of what they're trying to say there. But I think overall, they are expecting sales to be significantly greater than they were in financial year 22. And the range reflects the current uncertainty caused by events in Europe. And right now, invoices deliveries at the end of October were 19% up compared to the first 4 months in financial year 22. And they also expect margins to be fairly similar to financial year 22 as well. And right at the bottom of this particular bit of commentary is maybe the exciting part of the commentary. The board is looking at developing its other IP, including battery technology, and will look at other industrial applications in 2024. So I've already mentioned that zinc oxide has a lot of applications and a lot of potential applications. So it's really interesting to see that the management of this company is talking about all those other applications of zinc oxide. Now let's have a look at the charts for this company. And the first chart here is the weekly chart going back to 2015. And I was following this company for a very long time back then. I was a shareholder of this company probably about 2017, 2018. And then I sold when the share price started rising. I should have just kept on holding, because the share price went from, for me, it went from about 2 cents all the way up to something ridiculous. But based off this chart, because of the share consolidation, share price went from 20 cents to a high of $7.80 in about a year. So it started climbing just prior to the start of 2018, and then it really grew quickly in the start of 2019. In fact, the first half of that year, the share price went from about $1 to $7.80, and that was the high in the company's share price. And since that high, the share price has been drifting lower on decreasing volume as well. So less interest in this company throughout the market, and that is represented by the decreasing volume, much lower volume we are seeing now compared to the start of 2019, really high volume. So that is telling us there was a fair bit of hype in this company back then. And I'll probably say the market at one point in time was maybe about $400 million or so, or something like that. And the reason why there was a lot of interest in this company was because of that really good growth in revenue and the very fact this company was profitable and growing their profits because they had pretty good margins as well at a pretty good rate. And then COVID-19 happened, and that really affected this company's share price and also the revenue in that one particular year. Was it financial year 21? So things are starting to turn around business-wise for this company, but the share price is not responding just yet. It's going sideways. So let's have a look at the daily chart just to see how long the share price has been consolidating for. This is the 2-year chart, daily chart for advanced Zinctek, going back to the end of 2020 when the share price was about $5. And you can see the share price was in a downtrend during most of 2021 into the second half or the first half of 2022. Share price went to a low of about $2. So it seems like $2 is a really strong support level for this company. If you just draw a line right on $2, you can see $2 was hit about 10 times from March through to July. The share price just could not get below $2. So it seems like every single time the share price got to $2, there was a little bit of buying. And that means that level is a pretty good support level. But really, the share price has been going sideways since February or March of last year. Share price has really hasn't got any higher than $2.70, which was in August, and hasn't got any lower than $2. So it's trading in that range. And right now at $2.20, it's sort of in the mid of that range. So what I'll be looking at here is any sort of breakout in the share price out of this consolidation period. And the best catalyst for a breakout in the share price would be on any really positive financial news. And I thought maybe the mention of that maiden dividend could be that catalyst, or even some of their trading updates could be that catalyst. But at this point in time, the market is just not interested in advanced Zinctek right now. But that could change at any time, and that could change quite suddenly. And that's why I always look at these charts just to see if we do see a breakout out of this consolidation period. The next 5 companies I plan to do in this series, this Kneppy analysis series, include GLG Corp, which is Jim Lee. That is, I've already prepared that video, and I'm not sure when I'll release or actually record that video. I've also prepared the Coden video, and then also do videos on James Hardie, Kogan, and Lovisa. Now, the Lovisa video is because of a request from a viewer of this channel. So if you do have a request of a company you would like me to feature in this video series, just leave it in the comment section of this video, and I'll see what I'm able to do. Not all requests I'm able to do, but I'm happy to do a few requests. So if you keep on requesting a company, I eventually probably will do it. And that's all I have for this video on Advanced Zinctek Limited. If you have any knowledge about this company, any further insight in zinc oxide or anything like that, I'd love to hear it. So leave it in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.